I kind of want to get back to SF because I want to bring up. There's now what you're seeing in the media and from the right wing
You got it right the first time.
Yeah. Totally. But what you're seeing is now this coordinated attack on harm reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're seeing it a lot too from folk. I mean, you got it from the the king of it, Tom Wolfe, who, I mean, what a joke of a guy, and yet he's their poster boy for this movement. But you're also seeing people like Adam Nathan from Blaze AI, who's on the board of Salvation Army, kind of pushing against harm reduction and stuff. Are you guys seeing any connection between Salvation Army and this attack on a harm reduction? Like, what is the Salvation Army's interest in this? Do you have any idea?
Well, their shelters are, I mean, they're pushing a sobriety only model at their shelters. I know that Tom Wolfe has been promoting Salvation Army's approach.
Not only, I'll say really quickly, not only does he promote it, but he works there.
Yeah,
he's a paid consultant for Salvation Army.
Ah,
it was interesting to me to see the article in Mission Local from the UCSF doctors the weekend before. My sister-in-law, who has been working with, she's a public health professional at UCSF, and she was at our house ranting about Tom Wolfe and how much harm he's going to do. And she said, the user community in San Francisco, and she's worked with them for 30 years, is not monolithic. We need every tool in our arsenal. And she said, these people are going to do a lot of harm. And she said, honestly, the vibe I get with Tom Wolfe is that he is just trying to promote himself for something. She's not sure what career aims he has, but
I have the theory.
Yeah. She also said that she has been working on a harm reduction program for a long time, and no one from the mayor's office has contacted her, which she found to be quite disturbing.
Yeah. What's your theory, Scott? I mean, my theory is that they're trying to get that money. I think they're trying to get that funding.
I mean, the thing is that like Wolfe did get a chance to go to Washington, D.C. and meet with Biden about harm reduction. I don't think that his message was well received, but he's got connections to David Sachs, and David Sachs could get him back in to meet with Trump and Vance, and he'll get a chance to do his proposal again. And I think maybe his proposal would be to become the drug czar. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, like, just like David Sachs became the crypto czar, Tom can become the drug czar. And I think that a lot of the things that we're seeing, as far as the way they're trying to silence the way that they're trying to silence journalists right now, especially Tom Wolfe's camp, that is Ricky, that is Omar, right? It could just be him trying to clean up some lines. Him trying to just like shut the door on some things, like, shove that into the closet over there. I mean, I think because he'd have to have a reasonably clean record, and maybe what he's concerned about is that, like, if we dig around too much, we can besmirch something. Now that's just, like I said, that's just the theory. But Trump is dumb enough to do it, is what I'm saying. Trump is dumb enough to do it, and if the network state said that we got to give this thing to Tom, Trump might do it just because he's so stupid.
Yeah.
So that's
or
my
if you
theory.
just pay him off and
that's my theory.
Kiss his ass enough.
Yeah, that's my theory. And then that way these guys get a chance to work with the Salvation Army and Opus Dei, which is also a Catholic organization, and a Catholic organization inside the White House already. So what you do is you're handing over the drug problem to the Catholics, Opus Dei and the Salvation Army. Yeah. And that drug czar would be Tom Wolfe.
Well, that's an interesting theory, because I've noticed that Tom Wolfe was promoting RFK Jr. on his Twitter account, and saying that he had met with him, that he had promoted his presidential campaign before he pulled out of the race. So there's some connection going on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Wolf
Yeah,
is
he
definitely
also
pro-Trump.
Well, he was very much pro RFK, and then he's been like, there's this interesting dance that the San Francisco right wing tries to play, where their whole gambit is being iconoclastic by being right wing, but never actually saying that they're Republican. So it's this kind of like, oh well, like that somehow makes them moderate, is because they're anti-democrat and will throw a bunch of the Trump talking points, but then at the end of the day be like, oh, but I'm a Democrat though. That's kind of like the game. That's kind of the game that Tom Wolfe plays, mostly because I think that they don't want to be written off writ large. It's the reason why Susan Dyer Reynolds got so angry when I think Mission Local reported on her as being a conservative journalist, and she's like, no, I'm not. Like, you can't call me a conservative, because that is for a place like the Bay Area, that is a good way to get written off, is to say, oh, they're Republican. Like, I won't even consider their perspective when it comes to politics.
I would say that she's not a journalist, but that's me.
She tried to get to shut me up just a couple of days ago by saying that she's going to report me as a what is this? She called me a troll, a malicious troll at my job at the East Bay Express. She said, like, how would the East Bay Express feel about what you're doing over there? And I got back at her and said, my God, you're a terrible journalist. I haven't been there in 2 years. I haven't been at the East Bay Express for 2 years. It's like, you didn't even bother to look at the masthead? I'm not there. You could have actually just looked at the masthead and saved yourself some embarrassment. Right. That's how bad she is. She didn't know that Kevin had filed a police report. Like, people, she was like, where's the police report? And people kept sharing with her. Are you sure this is it? Like, yes. You can look it up for yourself.
I have the number.
There's a way to do that. There's a way. No, I'm just saying, Susan, as far as journalism is concerned, you can't find if a person's filed a police report. You can't see if a person holds a position or not. You are not a journalist.
Yeah, she's not.
Like that's just basics. That's just basics, Like, Google.
She started out her career writing about pets and dog food and stuff. So anyway.
Really.
Yeah.
Cutting edge.
Probably did taste tests on her own. I don't know.